What can we learn from Sergey Kovalev being knocked out by a much smaller Canelo Alvarez? So in this film study, we're going to be taking a look at a little bit of We Fight How We Train, a little bit of the training habits, a little bit of these other things. But first, we're going to set a little bit of a flow of the fight, kind of talk about some of the skills that Canelo Alvarez used to bridge the distance between him and his much taller opponent, who could control the space with a very, very, very easy light throwing jab. So number one, getting on the line and making it so that he can get his way to the front foot simply by keeping his hands up and in the closest range of motion of his opponent throwing a random jab. So as long as his hands are in this general direction, it also makes it very easy for him to notice Kovalev stepping with his jab and coming forward and allowing him time to parry it simply because his hand is so close to the line. He's not actually being surprised by what Sergey Kovalev does. Okay, this allows Canelo Alvarez to get his weight close enough to the front foot that he might actually be able to cross the line, and as we can see here, bring his rear shoulder forward, allowing him to start making attacks either with the right hand or get his head to the left side of the line so that he can start making left cross attacks or leaping left hooks, which will allow him to safely get his head to the other side on the next beat and be much, much, much more safe rather than just using a stepping jab from the right side of the line, which is very, very easy and obvious to attack, especially against a taller opponent like you have in Sergey Kovalev. Now, again, the flow of the fight at the beginning is Sergey Kovalev controlling space with either his lead hand or his rear hand here, picking Canelo off right here. And again, Canelo Alvarez, for the most part, having to figure out a way to cross the line by keeping his guard up. Now, as the fight kind of continues to wear on, coming around the guard a little bit with the hook, but Canelo Alvarez mostly able to control and stop Sergey Kovalev from getting a lot of value out of the jab because Sergey Kovalev can't throw the jab hard and fast and expect to land it. It winds up becoming a measuring tool, a probe. Okay, and instead of him throwing it hard, he's just kind of touching Canelo Alvarez, disrupting him, and Canelo Alvarez is just easily defending it as they kind of box each other. Okay, this allows Canelo Alvarez to wait and wait and wait as Kovalev also waits and waits and waits until they decide to throw some actual punches. Okay, now Kovalev being the first one to follow up on the rear hand there, Canelo doesn't have any traps yet, but because of the fact that he has such good control of the line, Kovalev doesn't actually know where he wants to start. He didn't want to start and open up with the lead hand there, but what's going to happen here is going to be, again, waiting on the line with the control of the lead hand. Both of them feel very, very, very comfortable. And then Kovalev is going to let go a rear hand here. Boom. And Canelo Alvarez is going to break into this shot here and throw his leaping kind of left hook thing. Now watch him leap into it here. He gets a kind of a pull here and then kind of jumps out of this shot. Again, he's been waiting to time that shot with all the control that he's had over the jab, making the lead hand of Kovalev simply by having his hand up and being able to parry and interact with it almost completely ineffective. Right? Canelo didn't actually had to leave his position at all, and he was able to set up a very, very powerful punch while his opponent was out of position. Okay? Again, it's very important, especially as a smaller fighter, that you maintain control of the line and you don't freak out and continue to abandon your position on the line. If every time your opponent throws a punch at you and you have to jump off the line, I don't know, say like Shakur Stevenson, or Richardson Hitchens, those guys have to jump off the line every time any kind of weight comes at them. They have no control over it. They don't know how to control punches, and it causes them to abandon their position and not really get the maximum value out of how athletic they really are. Okay, now again, looking to interact with those punches. Again, a shot comes again. Boom. And again, as soon as that rear hand comes, that's what Canelo's been waiting for. He leaps out of this left hook here. Now, this has a dramatic impact on the fight as the fight moves on because then Kovalev he's not getting any value out of his jabs, right? He's not getting any value out of those. He's not getting any value out of his right hand. So what is Kovalev supposed to do? Again, all getting picked off. Canelo's again still in a position with his high guard here, ready to wait for the right hand. And again, it's not the best block, and we're going to talk a little bit about that when we talk about the training and stuff. But again, not really being threatened by the jab, not in a position where his opponent can be much faster than him because his hands are so close to the line. Again, another rear hand here, boom, comes, and as soon as that shot comes, Kovalev, I'm going to call this, I have a track theory that I created and I teach in my Fouts Boxing Combat System. If you guys want to join, check it out. Or if you guys want to learn all by yourself, you can check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System in the link below. Or say you just want to learn power punching, I have a complete power punching seminar that I teach. And it's my first lesson that I teach. If you were to buy some private time with me, it's $149.99. It's got subtitles, all this stuff, whatever. You can watch the full unedited versions as well. But the Kovalev throws a right hand right here, and then he makes a grave mistake. And after throwing that shot, instead of fighting from this position here, right, and performing and defending his position or exiting the line, he tries to fall back into his stance, okay? He does what I call falling off the line. He's going to try to get back to his boxing stance, okay? And as he does that, Canelo tries to catch him crossing the line with a left hook here. Now, again, getting back to the theory, if you want to learn more about that stuff, check out the Fouts Boxing Academy or the Fouts Boxing Combat System, however which way you like to like it or like to learn it. But again, looking to attack him after those rear hands come, okay? Very, very, very successful strategy overall to prevent combination punches, but also Canelo has to continue getting closer to his opponent. He can't fight Kovalev on the outside. Now, he's stopped Kovalev from feeling comfortable throwing the jab, and he stopped him from feeling comfortable throwing the right hand because of those punches. So while he's thinking here, that allowed Canelo to get on the line and throw a right hand here, something that he's been struggling to make any type of contact with Kovalev so far in the first round, right, as he moved on to the second round. Now, again, many more jabs. Again, taking his little step to the inside right there. And look at him testing the line right there for his little move. And again, all that allowing him to, again, controlling the jab to finally find an attack on Kovalev's line, find a left hook to the body here. Again, something that was very, very difficult and would be impossible if he wasn't catching the jabs and then also countering the right hands, stopping Kovalev from feeling comfortable to throwing those shots. Now, again, the rear hand comes, attacks him. He tries to counter that shot, and I'm going to call it like Ilya Taporiaing him. But as soon as your opponent gets on the line with you, you want to kind of go ape shit. You got to start throwing you got to let your hands go. You got to try to get some points in, right? Boom, boom, boom. And Canelo throwing 3 punches here, scoring one of them because he threw 3. Right? Again, when he's at such a deficit, right? When you're the smaller guy, you really have to get value when your opponent lets you, I don't want to say you're lucky enough, but when you outbox them enough, when you do enough of the things right and you get close enough, you gotta get paid off. Okay, so Canelo doing a very, very good job right there. Now, again, waiting for that rear hand, pulling it here, another attack here. Again, feeling so comfortable because he has such good control of the lead hand that he can set traps there, right? Again, more jabs coming from Kovalev. Again, not really a threat to Canelo. He's easily weaving through the line, controlling it, controlling the jab, not being threatened. And Kovalev can't figure out what he's supposed to do, right? Now, finally throws a rear hand, right? And again, not getting any value. Kovalev still struggling, right? Not setting any traps is what he should be doing, right? But struggling quite a bit. And then every time he lets those right hands go, boom, getting countered, right? Again, getting more isolated from his punches, more and more. Now, eventually what winds up happening is Kovalev doesn't want to throw any right hands. So after just controlling so much space and throwing so much jabs, Canelo starts testing and stepping to the inside of the jab and not even waiting for the right hand anymore. He's continued to control it enough that only the jab is coming. Kovalev has to spend so much time thinking. So now Canelo can start attacking the jab. And now we get basically here, this is the exact same sequence that winds up ending the fight. As he gets on the line here, boom, breaking into this shot, and then actually landing that knockout shot. Again, here, boom, boom. The same exact sequence. Just took, a few rounds to pull it off. But that winds up being, again here, boom, countering this shot. And then in the very, very, very next sequence, boom, breaking under that shot with the same move and then throwing a combination here, right? Trying to really get maximum value out of those sequences. Now, if we take a look a little bit at We Fight How We Train here, Here's Canelo getting on the line, and you can see in the first 30 seconds here of him getting on the line here, this is all the ways that he gets on the line. Stepping jab, boom, boom, doesn't get off the line. He's drifting with his back leg, right? That's a very, very consistent thing. Kovalev makes him, punishes him a little bit forward in this fight. Also taking those big pendulum steps and throwing the big right hands, the big steps with the lead foot, and that's the move right there that he's practicing. Boom. He doesn't take the hugest step here, right? But it's the same exact move that he practices that he does on Kovalev right there. We have another clip of it as well. Boom. Are you going to do it again, buddy? No, not in that one. Okay. Let's take another look at it here. Oh, so actually this one's a little bit of the catching and countering and stuff, right? In this one, he is throwing 2 punches, boom, and then punch, punch. Canelo actually has a lot of variations of his different drills. Here's Teofimo doing a little bit of the drill as well. But Canelo Alvarez actually has a lot of different variations in his drills, in his catching and blocking, in his mitt work and stuff. We'll have him doing some here. Oh no, do I not have the most important video open here? I don't. Silly goose me. Here we go. I found it. So we don't actually have him practicing the one that I want to show you guys, but here he is warming up, and here's the right hand that comes from Kovalev, boom, and here he is countering with the left hook. And Reynoso's like, nah, let's not do that one. Let's do the catch, catch, punch, punch version. Again, they have their own special pattern where it's all 4 of those little contacts, bop, 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 bop. He winds up shortcutting them, so they're not the tightest blocks all the time. And again, this one does wind up being direct catch and counter style, right? Just like that left hook. Again, we fight how we train, all these kind of patterns. He kind of learns how to put them together, where he needs to put them together, right? But very, very important that you understand when you're fighting a guy who's taller than you, that you have to have a good guard, right? You notice how he was able to interact with those right hands and then be able to counter with his left hook. If his left hand was Philly shell at his waist, he wouldn't be able to do that. Now, do we want to be practicing and training to fight guys who are smaller than us? Because if that's the theory, if that's correct, that means that strategy is only going to work against someone who's worse than you or someone who's smaller than you. And we don't go to the gym scared, training our asses off, working hard, worried about guys who are worse than us and smaller than us. We go into the gym, we train, we work hard because we know that we're going to get in the ring with an animal, another guy who's been worried about us, who's been worried about how hard we've been training. And they better be scared, right? And that guy, sometimes he's going to be bigger than us, he's going to be faster than us, he's going to hit harder than us, so we're going to have to outbox him. So we want to practice fighting with our hands up, with the tight guard. But anyway, I just wanted this to be a real quick video. Again, all those little things that he does in there as we take a look here, a little bit of more catch and counter stuff here. But he practices a lot of different variations. And again, it's very important that there's not that many things that really happens in boxing, right? There's not that many things that really happens that are super important. And again, if you guys want to learn all that stuff, check out the Fouts Boxing Academy. If you guys want to learn how all that stuff works, it's a community of people. We do film studies. You get access to the film studies that I do each day. There's usually film studies every day. I think I'm going to be going down to like every other day and focusing more on the coaching and stuff. But in-person coaching, I mean. But it's also a community of coaching. You can send in your work. I'm going to critique your work and teach you how to get better. You can send in your work and get better with them. Okay. Or if you guys want to learn yourselves, check out the Vimeo packages below. But again, we fight how we train. And if you want to know all the best habits, all the best, most brutally efficient ways to train and to work for any level of fighter, okay, any level, check out the Fouts Boxing Academy. It's pretty cool.